Hello, Cecil County and the world. It's August the 14th, the tail end of the dog days. Rob Churnside here for Cecil TV. With me tonight, I have two guests. My good friend Tom Soukup. Tom, welcome to Cecil TV.
Thank you.
And Philip.
Philip. Have I met Philip?
Fill up the bowl. We filled up the bowl with entries for our contest, and we'll tell you more about that. But right now, Tom, let's talk about the good old days, what's in the future, and talk about music.
Okay.
You come to play a couple tunes tonight?
I'm going to give it my best shot.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And speaking of the good old days, I met Tom when I posted an ad for a singer in a band I was in back in the day. I'm talking back in like the early 70s.
I think it was 73 is my guess.
And you answered the ad.
I did.
Did a fine job.
Well, we became friends.
Yeah.
You did a great job on your poster.
Yep. Recruited you, and then I eventually ended up moving my wife and I, my girlfriend at the time, ended up moving in with you and your family.
And your drum set, and my guitar, and lots of people's amplifiers, and geez, me, Chris, we probably rocked that neighborhood for months, years.
It was something else. Got me my start, and you were good. You were good then. I was working on it.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that.
So, Tom, you come from a musical family.
That is true. That is true. I studied this and did that. I'm not really didn't put my nose to the grindstone in a real progression of scholarly pursuits. But I always like to say, or I actually realized that the most important stuff I learned about music was mostly on a Saturday or Sunday morning at the breakfast table. My dad would pick up his trumpet and warm up, and start playing tunes. It's one of the greatest memories of my life.
Yeah, yeah. And
then before that, though, he was in business selling musical instruments and stuff. So we were always involved in and around these live performances that he would put together of the students. He would get people interested in music, and they'd buy instruments, and then he'd have organize them to learn, and then they would have live performances like a few times a year. There'd always be a Christmas concert and a summer picnic concert, and he would bring in his friends and other artists to top the bill or whatever. And he played with the people he played with on a regular basis. My brothers, they were more scholarly than I, and I listened to them practice and practice and practice.
Your brother Bill played the sax, and Jimmy played the trumpet, right?
Yeah, and my older brother John played trumpet and French horn.
I'd never heard John play.
He stopped playing by the time you and I met. He must have picked something up now and then, but he kind of gave it up.
Well, Bill played with the legendary Jerry Blavitt, the Geeter
true.
with the heater.
Geeter with the heater.
And there's a story behind that, but we can't share that with everybody.
Yeah, well, I don't think I could repeat. Give it the nuance it deserves.
Right.
But I met the Geeter through Bill and our friend.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the bass player.
Billy.
No, Billy Blau.
Yeah.
No, but Dan.
Oh, Dan too.
Dan
he
was
also a Geeter man.
Dan was a Geeter man, and they were a good band. And so I went to one of their rehearsals, and the thing that I really remember about the Jerry Blavitt is there in his own house. He was exactly like he was on TV. It actually, I don't know, it didn't actually scare me, but I was like amazed that anybody would be that. But I'm pretty weird myself. Most of the people you and I know are a little odd, just not like that.
Not like the Geeter with the heater.
Not
and
like
Tom,
the Geeter.
You did some time in the circus too, didn't you?
Well, no, not exactly. It was a theater troupe. A theater troupe, but it was Yeah, I can see why you would call it a circus. It was with the illuminated elephants. And we never really had an elephant. But if there was an elephant in the area, we'd go around and get photographed with it. But it was a theater troupe built largely around dance. There was a lot of serious dancers and dancing, and music, and multimedia. So what they didn't do is ritual, multimedia, tribal theater. I got that in the wrong order. It's tribal. Geez, what did I just say? Tribal multimedia ritual theater. That's what I...
That sounds like a new thing that people are going to start being. What goes around gets recycled every now and then.
Yeah, well, it's basically an old thing, but they realized that's what they wanted to do. And I met them, and by that time, several of them had gone around the world tracing the origins, and my friend Svante came across them in Sweden, and then he just kept drifting with them. Drifting isn't the right word, but
and they're still doing this?
Yeah, they're
the elephants. What is it?
The illuminated elephants.
I'm going to Google that.
And Hathi Babas is the kind of illuminated elephants is kind of an English translation. They're in America, but definitely in Mexico, where they are now. They tend to call themselves Hathi Babas.
Hathi Babas.
HathiBabas. And actually, so they call it illuminated elephants. They spent time in India with Hathi Baba, who was a mystic, holy man, not quite a hermit, but he was just by himself. He didn't have school or anything like that. And he happened to have elephantitis, which is like where your extremities become big. I don't know why. Apparently it's an infection from what little I know. But they liked him and they spent time with him, so they adopted his name. Yeah.
So you're not going to play any of those songs tonight, though?
I guess I could maybe kind of think of some of them, but I wasn't playing. I don't do well under pressure.
What do you want to share with our viewers tonight?
Well, we were talking about these two songs that we were talking about. I wrote during the time when I was with them, and but not really. Didn't really use them when I was working with the troupe. But two songs I wrote on the same day while I was hitchhiking on the entrance ramp, and they're unusual in so far as I had to learn how to play them because for some reason I had time on my hands, and these two songs came to me pretty much. I just started kind of singing them, not like loud, but I don't know how much thought I put into editing them or anything like that. And then when I got to my destination and was settled in, grabbed my guitar, I had to learn how to play them. But it was during that same time, and I played with them. I did some real rudimentary dancing movement with the troupe, and not too much acting, if anything like that. And then I would provide background music with music. Sometimes it was background music, and at the end there's basically like not exactly a typical Broadway musical production, but but the idea was there's no more audience, no more players, and so we'd generally go out with a lot of music, and I primarily played bass, oddly enough. But it was not too odd because that provided something that would just work into what was happening.
Right. And that's the way good music is, live. Should we listen to a couple tunes from Tom Soukup?
If you want me to play, I will try to play.
Yes, indeed, my friend.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. And don't break my glasses.
No.
And thank the production folks as well, the friendly people at Cecil TV.